Hi everyone, Christina here. Welcome to day 3 of the Valentine's Day card series. Today's video is actually one that I filmed for Simon Says Stamp featuring their 2021 Valentine's Day card kit. There are a ton of supplies included in this kit, including this amazing pattern paper from Echo Park. In the kit, you also get some solid cardstocks, including that red hollow, which is just beautiful. There's a 6x8 stamp set. There's a gold shimmer spray, some pink word stickers, mini envelopes, die cuts from Echo Park. And these die cuts from Echo Park are actually what I'm going to be focusing on today to make 4 mini cards that go into those mini envelopes. So many ideas you can do with this, and I'm going to start out by making my own pattern paper with the lips stencil and this gold shimmer spray. So I'm going to be using that stencil right on top of some of the pattern paper that was included in the kit. Now this pattern paper just had solid red on the back, so I thought it'd be perfect to add these lips. So I sprayed the gold shimmer spray, lifted off that stencil, and I'm left with this really fun lips pattern. I just took that stencil to a sink and rinsed that off, and it cleaned up really well. I used a heat tool to speed up the drying process on this paper. You'll notice that there is quite a bit of warping on the paper. That's because it's a regular weight of paper. It's not a heavy cardstock. So there will be a little bit of warping with that additional moisture, but it flattens out quite a bit. So the size of card that fits inside these mini envelopes is 3.5 by 2.5. I measured the envelopes just to be sure, and then I created a bunch of card bases out of some white cardstock. I'm going to have all of these cut to 3.5 by 5. So after I have the card bases cut, I then scored them at 2.5. So all of these cards will be folded in the same way. And I just wanted to get them all cut out at the same time so I could work on all 4 of them together and kind of piece all these different die cuts together. I put some extreme adhesive from Tombow on the front of one of my mini cards, and then I cut down a piece of that DIY lips pattern paper that I made and adhered that right onto the front. So that's one of the cards with the pattern on the front. So now I'm going through all of these die cuts. There are so many, and I could not even choose where to start. Some of them are a little bit too big for the small mini cards that I'm making today, so I did cut them down. I cut the top off this tag and cleaned up the edges a little bit because these are die cuts, so they were printed as one big sheet and then taken apart. But they still have those little connector points, the little nubs that hold them in. So if you see any little connectors on the edges of your die cuts, you can just take your scissors and just snip those right off. So I decided to use a little bit of striped pattern paper to create a border across my lips pattern. And I just used some tape runner adhesive to adhere that. Put some foam adhesive behind this little XOXO tag and then adhered that. Now I'm going to be stamping a little tiny greeting using the stamp set. Unfortunately, I didn't use any other stamps from the stamp set. There were so many awesome and cute images in the stamp set, but they just didn't fit for what I was going for today. But there is this one little greeting that says, "I love you." So I did stamp that in Versamark ink on the black cardstock included in the kit, put some alabaster embossing powder on that, and then trimmed it down after I heat set it. Put a little bit of foam adhesive on the back, cut my foam tape so that it would accommodate the size of my little tiny greeting. And then I initially was going to adhere this to that XOXO card with the lips, but then I realized that the black cardstock was a little bit of a different shade compared to the black used on the die cut. So I saved it for a different card where I wouldn't have that black color be as obvious. Trim down some pattern paper for the base of my card front. Put this Love Sweet Love tag right on top, and then I put that small I love you greeting down at the bottom. So that one came together really, really fast. So now I'm still looking for something to fill that space on my first card, and eventually this Love is in the Air ticket tag shape looked perfect. And so I put that up there at the top, kind of at a diagonal, and there's that card finished. So now I've got 2 cards done. For this third card, I put some red plaid pattern paper on the front, and then this piece that I cut earlier, taking it off that tag, I adhered that, put a little bit more of that striped pattern paper right at the bottom, And that finishes the third card. So these are coming together really, really fast. To add a little bit of finishing touch to this, I broke out a card making tool that I haven't used in ages, which is the We Are Memory Keepers Corner Chomper. I used the 1/4 inch rounder on the corners on a few of these cards, on the 3 that I had finished at this point. And then I'm going to move on to my 4th card. And I decided to take this die cut frame that kind of has a wood grain texture on it. And I cut out a picture from my wedding day and put that right inside. The greeting says me and you, so I thought that was kind of appropriate. You could use a variety of photos inside that frame, or even just fill it with another die cut. I think that would be really nice as well. It needed a little color since it's all just kind of brown and white, so I decided to cut out this little heart from another one of the die cuts, and I adhered that with some tape writer adhesive. Just put that in the bottom right corner. So at this point, my cards are basically done. So I wanted to test them out and see how they would look inside the mini envelopes. And these vellum ones I think are my favorite because the recipient gets a little peek at the card when the envelope is closed, but you can still kind of put a message inside and keep that a little bit hidden. I think that's really cute. The red envelopes I paired with the other 2 cards. And that completes my card set for today for day 3 of the Valentine's Day card series. Just to want you to make note that if you want to pick up this card kit over at simonstamp.com, it is a limited edition card kit. So once it's sold out, it is not being restocked. So now's the time to take advantage of that. On screen, I've got 3 Valentine's Day cards for you to check out. I've got the previous 2 days of this year's Valentine's Day card series, as well as a love card that I made last year. I hope you'll check those out. I'll be back on Wednesday for day 4 of the Valentine's Day card series.